Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danny Danae Show. I am Danielle Danae, aka Danny Danae, and I've got a lot to say. So let's get into it. The epidemic of baby mamaism. Let's talk about it. So, you guys know, Black people, we know this has become a thing in our culture, sadly. It's sad to say that women are aspiring to be baby mamas, and it's not cute. I don't know who told these women that it's cute to be a baby mama. It's just a joke, and I say it's a it's an epidemic because it seems to be spreading amongst the whole country. This started to be a thing, I think, in the beginning, where it was just like, high profile rappers having multiple baby mamas, but now it's everywhere. It's men who make regular money. And I don't know, like I said, who made this seem like it is a deal for women, because it's not. It just isn't. And I am here to explain why. Why it isn't. For the women who don't understand or don't know why. So here it goes. But let me first tell you about my background. I grew up in a nuclear family. Oh, my mom and dad, they were married for almost 30 years before they divorced recently, after we were already grown. So them being married, it was the only thing I knew. All growing up, we had and I had two sisters. You guys know I have an older sister, younger sister. I'm the middle child, and we all have the same parents, mom and dad. And that was the thing. That was was what was seen as normal. Never in my mind did I think about or see kids being raised without their mother and father. Even if they weren't married, they were, in the picture. So I think that's why it's more mind boggling to me. But, anyways, I would think, I know for certain, especially moving out here and, experiencing other people and realizing they didn't grow up without a dad or didn't grow up with a mom. We turned up, we turned out very great. My sisters and I being raised by the both of them together. Very great. And what's interesting to me, the question that comes up when I think about, women who are baby mothers, what makes you think you can raise a kid and think you're going to have the same outcome that, nuclear families have with where it's a unit. I give full credit to, my parents being together, the reason why we became so great. Our outcomes came to a great outcome. So when only one person is raising the kid, there's statistics, Lord, statistics. I can't speak today, guys. You gotta forgive me. Statistics on this, that it's not meant. Kids are not meant to be raised by one parent. They need both. There are things that a man brings to the table. There are things that a woman brings to the table. Lessons that kids need to learn, and doing that on your own, you're robbing them of those lessons. The phrase, "It takes a village to raise a family." It really does. To raise one kid, it takes a village. But you know, being as spread out as the world is, with all these resources, we have cars now, and we can hop on a flight real fast and go across the country. Whereas back then, when it was more so villages raising families, they didn't have those type of resources. So it's definitely harder. But the next best thing is a mother and father being in the home raising their kids. So when you when that's the best thing we have, and then you take, even one parent away, it's like you're making it that much worse. That's that much harder for your kid, and you're not even realizing it. Um, yeah, it's like I said, it's mind-boggling to think that women can do that on their own. Men even too, but it seems like it's more so baby mamas. It's more baby mamas than there are baby daddies, absent baby daddies. Um, so yeah, if I think it's crazy. Obviously, it happens, but so does. But I mean, come on, so does someone getting struck by lightning. Happens from time to time. For the most part, these kids being raised by these single mothers don't grow up well. They don't um, know how to control their emotions. They don't know how to, you know, respect another man. It's just when they're boys, it's a whole bunch of things. So yeah, and it's just embarrassing. You see these baby showers with no man around. I just had was invited to this girl's baby shower that I met back in my club days. I thought she was very sweet. We actually used to model together. We booked gigs together. That's how I originally met her. She invited me to her baby shower, and it had her name and her baby daddy's on there. So I was like, "Great, this is great." But then she told me when I saw her again that her baby daddy and her broke up, that he cheated on her and all this other stuff. It's craziness, and I felt bad, but at the same time, I was like, "Ugh, okay, this is just another baby mama shower. I do not want to attend." And I told her I miss her the best, but I couldn't attend because whether you know it or not, that type of I know bad situations happen, and if he did cheat, and if she didn't give him reason to, he was just a shitty person. Sorry, no cussing. Ugh. He was just a bad person. I get it. But at the same time, whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Baby mama ism is contagious. Like, that's why I said it's a ism. Um, and I don't even want to be around that. I don't even want that energy near me. So yeah, I had to respectfully decline the invitation. Yeah, it's just something you don't want to be around because I want to be what my parents had, and I want it to last forever, not just for 30 years. Unfortunately, it only lasted 30 years for them, but it definitely could have lasted longer in my eyes. But in today's society's economy, divorce is praised. It's become normal, and you know, I'm so anti-normal, anti what everybody else is doing. But that's a whole other topic. This baby mama-ism, it's got to be stopped. It's got to be deaded. The spread needs to cease. Okay, because even these celebrations that these baby mamas are having, like I said, these baby showers and these gender reveals on their own. It's just like, what are you celebrating? I'll tell you what you're celebrating. You're celebrating poverty, because that's where you're headed. Believe it or not, there's statistics on that. Got the word down this time. I don't know what it's certain words I say that I get tripped up on. I don't know why, but there's statistics on that. Uh, women who have kids and with men they aren't married to, they struggle. They struggle like crazy because kids are not cheap. Pardon me, especially in a place like Los Angeles. So even if the father is contributing, you're going to stress yourself out financially. With women paying for stuff they might not need to pay with. If the father was there, be like, hey, you don't need this. I can build this, or I'll take care of it. You pay for things that you wouldn't normally pay for if you had a man by your side. That stress with that, like I said, you pay for things now you need, the stress relievers and all this other stuff to calm you down. It's excessive. I know. I used to have a roommate that was a baby mama, and she would buy tons of weed to calm her down. Because it's stressful raising a kid on your own. Oh my gosh, it's stressful raising a kid with someone else. So it's 10 times that by your own. But don't. It's crazy. We set ourselves up for this, man. And I hate it. I hate it. I want women to struggle less. I really do. But you gotta want it for yourself, ladies. Um, yeah. And these women are also celebrating in these baby showers by that, that when there's no man around, just becoming another single auntie, joining the club, joining their single friends. It's telling them they don't need no man. Like I said, but his misery loves company. It's cute for the pictures. It's cute for, but long term, your friends are not going to be there when your kid needs to, get potty trained, when your kid needs to be enrolled to school, when your kid is graduating from college. You're going to be on your own. And that's no fun. That's no fun. So y'all gotta be not so blind to, you know, the glitz and glam and signing up for poverty, because it's not fun. You don't want to live a life full of stress. There's enough things to stress about. You shouldn't have to stress about, raising a kid on your own. You shouldn't. And you know what's crazy? Women complain about men all the time. Like, a lot of baby mamas will say, like, oh, men ain't shit. So that's why, I'm not around him. That's why I decided to not be with him. I'm just like, what are you talking about? What are you freaking talking about? It's because the men they're complaining about are actually raised by single mothers. Actually, if you sit, and I sat back and looked at them, I was like, oh, they were raised by a single mother. It's like you're literally creating the men that you hate. Your club of people is creating the men that you despise so much. It's like, when did we decide to stop the cycle? When do we start taking accountability and realizing you're a part of the problem and choosing not to be a part of it anymore? It's crazy. And the good men that come around, these women dismiss them because they're not tall enough. They don't make, quote unquote, enough money. And it's like, huh? You turned them down. It's so funny. Women are like, I prayed for Russell. He didn't come. He did. But just because he didn't have the same income as Russell, same profession, you turned him down. He was like, oh, he's not a Russell if he doesn't make X amount of money. Get out of here, guys. Y'all will always lose with that type of mentality. A man that can provide for you and provide for a kid, that's a good man, is a man worth keeping. A man that would do anything for you, would die for you, that's a man worth keeping. That's a man worth pursuing. Not these pookies. And it's crazy. It's like they say he's not a Russell and that's why, you didn't be with him, but end up getting impregnated by the worst kind of men, the brokest type of men, and calling them not shit. It's like, huh? Make it make sense. Ugh. We are something else, man, Black women. And this baby mama-ism, it gotta stop. Because it's, like I said, it's not making any sense and it's making us look stupid. It really is. There are so many good men out there. Like I said, either you're dodging them or you're not attracting them. The good man out there might not want to be with you because of the way you put yourself out to the world. Look at how you dress. Look at how you speak to people. With the man you want you. Are you in the right environment that these good men are? You got to put that all into perspective. And it's not an excuse, to not be around good men, to just sleep with bad men. It doesn't make any sense. No. You close your legs until you find the men worth opening them to. That's what you do. You don't let your loneliness lower your standards, because you'll disappoint yourself every time. Every time. Ladies, you got to understand, we are the gatekeepers to sex. We control it. Yes, it takes two to make a baby, but we give the access. We're the ones that provide, allow the two to enter. So you got to be careful. You got to be mindful and realize how powerful sex is. That's why it's so looked down, it's frowned upon with women, just sleeping around, because sex is so powerful. A woman's vagina, pardon me, is very powerful. Wars are started because of sex. I mentioned this. But if you give it away all the time, it loses value. You lose value. And especially when you lose it to somebody who doesn't give a F about you or your kid, his own kid. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about his kid. Ugh, your value goes just like that. And we got to wake it up. There's too many women thinking it's cute to be like this. I don't know who told you that. And you can't listen to it. Whoever is telling you it, you can't listen to it because you're the one who's suffering. You're the one that gets the short end of the stick every time. Okay? And what's crazy now? Like baby mama used to be a thing, like, that just happened. Like if it did happen to women, it'd be frowned upon. No one aspired to be like that. Like women would try to make it work. And then, if all effort failed, they would now become a baby mama. But now women are signing up for that. Like they're volunteering. I volunteer as tribute. They're saying I volunteer as tribute. Like what's her name in the Hunger Games? Katniss Everdeen. And it's like, what? Why are you signing up for poverty? Why are you signing up to be a laughingstock amongst your family, amongst your peers? You know, the kiki in front of you or in front of your face, they are laughing at you behind your back. Trust me. Either they're laughing at you or with you, because either you now join the team or now you have let your best part of yourself go and now got caught up in a situation where you got a man that doesn't care about you. Now you're stuck with the kid you got to raise on your own. You're a laughingstock. And don't get me wrong, it's not just women who are propping this up too to you guys and selling it to you, because like I said before, misery loves company. Other single women are propping it to you. It's I don't know if it's single, but it's men too. There's examples of celebrities, that glorify the baby mama and stuff like that. And, like Future, I think, and Nick Cannon. Well, I think Nick Cannon's situation is a little different because he actually spends time with his kids and it's actually like a plan. It's like a contract. He's very strategic on who he gets pregnant. But anyway, there's other celebrities. And yeah, you got to steer clear of these men. Not all men are good men. Trust me. They're also contributing to the problem. Absolutely. But I'm speaking solely to women here. Right. But I get it. It's men too. They put it in songs like the Jacquees. Y'all know that song Future Baby Mama by Jacquees? Sorry, I winked at you guys, but I didn't mean to do that. But just happened. But yeah, that song Future Baby Mama by Jacquees. I remember hearing that song and it was a vibe. I remember singing this, and then I actually realized what I was saying, and I was just like, this is not what I want to aspire to. This is not what I want to be. I want to be so much more than that, and that's how I want you women watching this to think as well. You gotta put more value on your sex. I want to say the P word so bad, but I'm like, I don't want to say the P word because, I don't know if that word is allowed on YouTube. I don't know if I'm going to get flagged and it's not, it's not classy, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You got to have some self-respect, or no man is going to really respect you in a relationship. Well, especially not long-term. I can tell you that. But yeah, you can't just give your womb to any man. You can't. Because these men, like, it's crazy, and the game is so messed up. It's like your womb is so valuable when it's untouched, but the moment it's touched by someone, it loses value. Especially when that man does not care about you. If that man cares about you, it means the world. But it sucks. It's like, dang. Because it's like sometimes some men, like I said, can talk a good game and make it seem like they care. And once they get what they want, they'll dip. But you gotta vet them. You gotta be able to. Men aren't, like I've said in my other videos, they're not that great of an actor. They're not that great of actors out there. We could see past the red flags. We just choose not to because either we're lonely or, we're attracted to toxic behaviors because that's what we were raised off of, but we got to be able to pinpoint this if we want men to respect us and want men to help raise our kids. We got to see through that. Stopped giving sex to bums and then complaining about them later. Again, I've said this before. If you're a woman going around saying my baby daddy ain't SHIT, that sounds a lot like I let losers come in me. To me. And that's what it sounds like to a lot of other people. Trust me when you say that. It's like, well, he didn't become ain't SHIT all of a sudden. Men don't work like that. Like, it was there at first. And it probably opened your eyes later because after you have a kid with him, you want him to be more there, obviously, and that's understandable. But was he there in the beginning? How did he act in the beginning? Probably was very similar. He might have been a little nicer, a little more around, but other than that, text messages, calls, he probably spoke the same. It's just now that you're locked in, you have a kid with this man, you're starting to pay attention to it more. We got to see it before we open our legs, guys. Girls. You got to see it before we open our legs. You chose that man. Any baby mama out there complaining, remember you chose that man. You chose to open your leg. You had the access. You allowed him access. You got to take responsibility for that. You got to. I remember I was talking with somebody in one of these audio apps. Y'all know I stay on these audio apps. They're and it's a little toxic at times, but it makes for good content. Excuse me, for these shows. So I stay in them from time to time. And in this particular room, I was speaking about I was responding to a woman that said, they were speaking about hoes. And they were saying a large percent of girls are hoes. But if a large percent of girls are hoes, guys must be that same percent because women aren't having sex with themselves. They're having sex with men. And I got off the mic and I was like, no, because it's a different percentage. And I believe it's a drastically lower percentage for men sleeping around because women are sleeping with the same men. It's not different men these women are sleeping with. It's the same man that got multiple baby. It's more so you see one man with multiple baby mamas than you see a woman with multiple baby daddies. Obviously it happens, but there's more so with the first one. There's more so multiple baby mamas by one man. That means more women are sleeping with the same man. So the percentage for men is lower. So you got to be mindful of that. We're choosing the same ain't SHIT men. They're talking their game. They're moving from one girl to the next one. We got to steer clear of these men. It's like you see, people like Cam Newton. He's on his fourth baby mama with Jazzy, I think. And he's going to move to the next one, Same with, Nick Cannon. Same with, I think, Offset now that he's not with Cardi. Probably he's going to have more kids. But then there are the rare instances where it's the Drea Michelles who have multiple baby daddies and the Joey Chavises that have multiple baby daddies. But you see how, Joey Chavis and Drea Michelle are looked down upon more than Nick Cannon and Cam Newton? It's because they gave their precious womb to multiple men. And for what? For money? For attention? For popularity? It's like those are celebrities, but women are doing this on an everyday, today life. With no money, no connections, no nothing. Not to say that's better off that she did that for the money, because it's not. It's like, dang, you should look at it as like, dang, 3 men didn't want you, and you actually had their flesh and blood, and they still don't want you. And then you had to go get, for Drea, you had to get somebody 20 years younger than you, whose mind is not fully developed into what doesn't fully grasp the nature of the situation. It's disgusting. With baby daddies, practically every baby mama would probably be with them if they really wanted to. If the man wanted to be with the woman, that would happen. Because men, like, women control sex, but men control relationships. So that's another thing. Drea, Joey, they opened their legs. They had access to the sex, but they didn't have access to the relationship. So the men dipped because they didn't want a relationship after. You should aspire for a man to want a relationship with you, want to be with you every waking day and help you raise your child together. Have their mom over, have your mom over, have dinner together, grow old together. Those should all be things that we aspire to have because they're beautiful things, gorgeous things. Like, men value the womb. Men that really care about you value the womb. And when you give it to somebody who doesn't deserve it, it's like a slap in the one that cares for you's face. Like, men really value it. And, they value the womb. They don't value your intellect. They don't value your degree. I've said this before too. They don't value your money. They value that womb. And they want it to be theirs and only theirs. That's why it's been for so long so admirable for a woman to be a virgin. I know that's rare to find in today's time, but those women that do save it, they flourish in their relationships when they find their husbands, because they don't have multiple ties to other men. You realize when you have a kid with another man that doesn't give a shit about you, you're still tied to him for life. It doesn't stop when they're 18 years old. It's forever. No man wants you to be tied to another man forever. And when you have sex with a lot of men, those men are tied to you internally. Women got to wake up to that. Those men are in you. They're a part of you. And men don't want to be a part of other men while with a woman, or they be gay. They be P. Diddy. All right, moving on. Let me stop. I just say all this to say, guys, I don't want anybody out there to aspire to be a baby mama. And if you are a baby mama watching this show, hopefully you realize your mistakes and decide right now, today, this minute, to work on yourself in order to attract the man that you're looking for. If you're wanting a relationship, if you want to be a single baby mom forever, cool. I can't imagine that being somebody's want, but it probably is somebody's want out there. But if you're actively looking for a relationship, for a man to love you and take care of your kid, you got to make better decisions. You got to be a better person. You got to not just be a good mother, be a good wife. Learn how to speak to people. Learn how to speak to a man in a way that makes him want to listen, want to keep you around long term. Develop those admirable qualities and you'll be all right. I truly believe it, but we got to get out of this baby mama-ism. We got to find a cure to this epidemic because it's spreading like wildfire, and I don't want to be caught in it. And I don't want any of you young ladies watching the show that are, just living life free to get caught up in that, to get burnt. We should aspire to be a wife. We should aspire to be partners. We should aspire to have the nuclear family, because the nuclear family is something that is beyond powerful. Having that dad around, having that mother around. Teaching you lessons school could never teach you. That's why the government is attacking it so much. That's why divorce is being praised so much, because they know how powerful a nuclear family is. A divinely feminine woman and a strong masculine man, that combination is lethal, because they can't be controlled by anything, and they're so intelligent, so knowledgeable, so full of wisdom that you can't stop them. They can't be muzzled like a dog. So choose to no longer be muzzled by society, by your community, by your family. It's not worth it in the end. It's not worth living in poverty and repeating the cycle where your little girl is now a single mother because you were one, and that's all she knows. Be better, do better. And that's all I got to say about that, guys. All right. That's it for today. Please like this video if you liked it. Please comment always. I'd love to hear you guys' comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Bye. I love you.